Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the Lighthouse Project. We are very, very, very excited to finally have in color right in front of me Rav Shlomo Katz, all the way from the holy city of Efrat, and he's back again. We had him a couple of years ago, and for me it's a pleasure to have you here. What's amazing about this is normally when it comes to Lighthouse Project, we either have Torah or we'll have concerts. But he's like a double threat. You know, you can get amazing, amazing Torah, and at the same time, you obviously have the amazing music that he does. So for us, it's a treat to have you here. I'm sure everybody here is super excited about it. And just also say for all the people watching on the Lighthouse live feed from all around the world, Zat Hashem, we are working out to get Shlomo to go live from Israel. It's happening very soon to have a special class just for the Lighthouse from Israel, Zat Hashem, maybe once a week, and we'll get there on that. And for all those people also in Lighthouse, you can catch Shlomo on his page and check out his weekly classes. And you're also on the radio with your show from Israel.
The Soul of Israel.
The Soul of Israel, which is amazing. So thank you very much. Enjoy, everybody.
Great. All right, hey everybody. What a treat. What a real treat this is. I'm so thankful to have the zchut to make this a Sunday night filled with meaning. And traveling is never easy. Never. Even if it's downtime and you get to just be cell phone free for a few hours, although now they're taking that away from us on planes as well. They're making us connected to our paro even on planes nowadays. But whenever because basically I get very homesick, even though I'm not gone for that long. But leaving Yerushalayim, leaving Efrat, even for a few days is always, it's very intense. But whenever I travel so far, you're with people that are also homesick, so we could just be homesick together, and it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm so thankful that tonight, before we go into the other room for some live music, I asked Michael if tonight we could do something a little bit different. Generally, I love, and we'll have a little bit of that later too, a lot of teaching in between songs. But I'm really, really excited these days for the following reason. We're building an incredible community right now in Israel, in Efrat. We've been building it for a while already. But it seems that a lot of the pieces in the puzzle are starting to really find its way here. And I'm so thankful I have the Millers that are like my... that are like... She's very shy, I'm just letting you know, very shy. So if... Whatever, don't little too shy. We'll try to get you active later. That are like mamash mishpacha, and their dear children live in our community as well, so it feels mamash even less homesick now that you guys are here. But what I wanted to discuss for a few minutes, I think I would say, is to prepare ourselves for the experience of music. And that seems pretty weird. What do you mean preparing yourself for the experience of music? In the Olam HaNegina, in the world of music channels, it kind of accelerated. It has access to places in our neshama that no matter how hard you try, a music can come, a nigun can come, the right words of a lyric can come, and mamash grab you. Just grab you. The question is, what happens to you when you're grabbed by holy music? So with the right preparation, what Be'ezrat Hashem will happen a little in a bit inside there, we'll have a bit of a vessel to contain what we're trying to do. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to do one thing, and it's the topic I want to talk about really briefly. Mamash, 20 minutes maybe. Briefly. It's the topic that we're going to be talking about now, and it's the topic that we're struggling to really, really understand in the deepest way in Efrat right now with all the learning that we're doing. And that is getting to know myself. Getting to know who I really am. Hearing myself. Learning who I am while not being totally freaked out about what I discovered. And it all connects to two main tzaddikim that I want to mention tonight. And these two holy, holy people that we're going to be learning from right now have been shining torches in our learning in Efrat. Now, just to preface by saying, what I mean by our learning in Efrat, we have a beautiful, beautiful, young, vibrant community, mainly Anglos, that have chosen to join Am Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael, uprooting themselves from all over the world. Although Canadians seem to be much more optimistic about things in general, they've rubbed off on us Americans, and we've been feeling very, very optimistic lately about a lot of different things, a lot of different areas. And one of the main things that has really made the excitement and the growth in our community has been the learning. Since many of the people there work American hours, so they're working from, noon on, or from 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. on, because they kept their American hours. So we have mornings that are really available for a lot of learning. And every single morning, between the men and the women, we have tons of classes, tons of interactive classes, which, like many of you, can watch us as we broadcast many of them Facebook Live. I have some of my friends that I feel like I know very well, even though I never met them, but they're here tonight. It's only because we've been learning online for a while. That's very, very special. But what it's done is that it's caused the community to have a hunger, to be hungry for more, hungry for not settling on checklist Yiddishkeit. You've heard of that phrase before? Checklist Judaism? Yeah? Checklist Yiddishkeit, you could be totally frum and even go to a place called Gan Eden because you did checklist Yiddishkeit, because you did everything right. But isn't it amazing that we've been celebrating our religious observance for so many years, and we know we're doing things right, but inside we could feel empty? How could that be? So we're trying to really go at these issues at the core of it with our learning, combined with a lot of simcha, obviously, and a lot of music, and davening on Shabbos that's just fire. So I'm prefacing all this by really saying you're all warmly, warmly welcome to join us for a Shabbos, for some learning. Visit us. We're there, and Bezrat Hashem, the vessel will only get larger and bigger for that. So the two tzaddikim that I mentioned before, that we learn a lot from, one of them you've heard of, everyone here has heard of. The other, a little bit less, but nonetheless it's a name that is gaining much, much more interest in the last 10, 15 years. The first tzaddik we're learning from is Rav Kook, the light of all lights. Just saying Rav Kook feels like a mikveh should just appear out of nowhere right now, right? Rav Kook's name, Rav Kook's light, the first chief rabbi in Eretz Yisrael 100 years ago, 120 years ago. Rav Avram Yitzchak HaKohen Kook, who passed away in 1935. By the way, that year, 1935, in the Hebrew calendar comes out to Tov Reish Tzadik Hey, and there are many women that were named Tirza. That's a name that a lot of the more Zionist chevra named their daughters back then. It's after that year, Tov Reish Tzadik Hey. And Rav Kook, you say about prophets, sometimes prophecy was for its time, and then there's a concept called Nevu'ah Ledorot, prophecy for generations and generations to come. Rav Kook's words, it's as if he's saying them tomorrow, not even now. He prepared everything for us. He prepared the whole deal for us. So I was learning something over Shabbos that I couldn't stop thinking about, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that sometimes, just like a nigun can capture you, and you don't understand what's going on, sometimes words of Torah can capture you, but you're not really sure what's going on either. So what is the words of Rav Kook? In Hebrew we have phrases that everyone knows how to להשלים את המשפט, to fill in the sentence. ואהבת לרעך, בראשית ברא אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. וידבר השם אל? Usually, right? Yeah. זכור את אשר עשה לך? Right, so we have these things. And we had it this Shabbos too. Na'aseh v'nishma. That's, we know that if we're sitting here today, Aventura, February 2018, it's only because of those two words, Na'aseh v'nishma. Mamish. The only logical explanation that we're still sitting around here today trying to understand the word of Hashem. and trying to understand ourselves is because of these two words, na'aseh v'nishma. Now, those are the most illogical words that ever existed. Because according to logic, I first have to understand something in order to take it upon myself, correct? I don't say, I'll do something and then I'll figure out how to use the manual. It's not like that at all. And especially in the world of rationale, in the world of philosophy, that's not how things work. First, I have to really learn something, develop it, process it, and then, if it makes sense to me, na'aseh. The way we lead our lives is really nishma v'na'aseh. It's not na'aseh v'nishma. But Rav Kook has an insight that's so powerful. Rav Kook says these words here. I jotted them down because I didn't want to mess them up. I'm just going to say it in Hebrew. It's 2 lines. Rav Kook says like this: Kol davar hachakuk bateva ino tzarich lishmi'a ve'lilimud. Anything that's engraved within nature doesn't need to listen and to learn it. If you're connected to your nature, you know what to do without anyone teaching you and telling you what to do in the world. You understand that line? If you're one with your nature, if, for instance, a guitarist that really feels connected to guitar, and someone tells him, play a solo, right? If he's really one with his guitar, don't ever dictate to him what notes to play. Because it'll just sound like a theory. It'll sound like information that he's trying to give over. You say to him, let it rip. Fly with it. And whatever comes out, comes out. Because the more you're connected inside to your teva, Rav Kook says you don't have to teach anybody what to do. So you know what art? So he brings an example over here. Hadvora bona et ta'e kavarta. The dvora, the bee, it builds the cells of its kaveret, of its beehive, bediyuk hamispari hayoter shalem. The way the bee constructs a beehive, it builds it in exact measurements to what it needs. And Rav Kook says, bli shmi'a shel shiurim behandasa. For the Israelis in the room, you understand that it's a very funny statement. Bli shmi'a shel shiurim behandasa. No one ever taught the bee, no one ever gave over to the bee shmoozes in engineering. And yet the bee knows exactly what to do. Mipnei shekach chakuk betiva. Because really, it's engraved in the bee's nature that it knows what to do, it knows how to survive, it knows how to live, it knows, so to speak, how to protect itself. So what's our teva, chavra? What is Rav Kook saying to us about na'aseh v'nishma? Na'aseh v'nishma is the teva of a Yehudi, Rav Kook says. That place that chooses to go beyond logic to understand itself, that is the nature of a Jew. It does not make sense that after the 6 million, you and I still think and believe that God's interested in a love, personal relationship with us. After the ovens and the gas chambers, what kind of a logical person would come to the conclusion that God's still interested in a one-on-one relationship with the same people? Or how about if you were kicked out of your home and for 2,000 years you were homeless? Why do you still think that the owner of the home wants you back as a tenant? Because it's me'ala teva. In truth, we really are completely illogical in a holy way, in a good way, not in a bad way. Rav Kook says those 2 words, na'aseh v'nishma, exemplify exactly that. That which you can't understand, and you want to go so much higher with it. The truth is, you ever see people during a nigun? I mean, we could try it later. But you ever see people shuckling like this, swaying like this, right? Shuckling and swaying, everyone's moving, and he asks somebody, excuse me, what's going on right now with you? Why are you in the movement? What's going on? And a person would say, I have no idea. This is the movement of my body. This is my natural movement. Can you explain what's going on with you? Absolutely not. My teva, and the Tanya says this all over the place. The teva of a Jewish neshama is to go upwards, and it can't necessarily explain why, but it knows it has to go there. Rav Kook says that's Nasa v'Nishma. That's what happened on Har Sinai, that we were one with our nature. The Ishbitzer, I don't know if they learn the Man Shilach here, but the Ishbitzer Rebbe explains that there's something called Binat Halev, which means the wisdom of the heart. We have Binat HaSechel, wisdom of intellect, which shouldn't be chucked and disregarded. The mind is a gewaldige thing, the mind is a wonderful thing. But the mind can only take you that far. In the Kabbalistic Sfirot, what's the highest Sfira? Keter, right? Keter is that which goes above your head, above your knowledge, crown knowledge. It's above that place that makes sense to you and that you understand. That's Keter. And that's the place that the Ishbitzer, and I believe that Rav Kook is leading us to, it's the place called Binat Halev, wisdom of the heart. I have to share with you. There was once a very wealthy, he's still alive, a very wealthy Jewish philanthropist that has done amazing things for Am Yisrael. And he had a taina on Reb Shlomo Carlebach. He had a claim on him. What was the claim that he had on him? He said, I didn't understand. He's the rabbi that initially turned me on to Yiddishkeit, to Judaism. But he never told me what to do. I wanted someone to just tell me exactly what to do, what to choose, what direction. And he never really told me what to do. He would just tell me things that are a little bit above and beyond. So right after I found this out, I was watching a video that I have of Rabbi Carlebach, where he says something amazing there. He said the following words, a lot of people have a claim on me that I never tell them what to do. I never give them direct directions to tell them exactly what they're supposed to do in life. Why? He said. Very simple. I believe in the heart of hearts that each person knows exactly what to do. And all I try to do is to connect them to that place that they can be their Baalei there, that they can own their most crucial decisions in life. That's all I try to do and take them there. And all the places we're describing right now is called Gilui HaNefesh, where the soul is revealed, where I know a little bit more of who I really am and how the answers to direct me to where I need to go in life and decisions I need to make in life, that I can really find a map. I can find it inside of me, inside of myself. Rav Kook says, in Nasa v'Nishma, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. It was one choice we didn't have to really think too hard on. Why? There was a gilui of our nefesh. There was a revelation of our soul, and we knew exactly what we wanted to do. What did we want to do? We wanted to be close to Hashem. We wanted to be close to Hashem. Today if someone asks you, what do you really want most in life? If you say that answer, you sound like an idiot, right? What do you really want most in life? I want to be close to Hashem. Another hippie that drank the Kool-Aid, right? That's not something that people take too seriously. Yet that's the most serious answer you could ever give. That's the reason why Rabbi Nachman is conquering the world these days, is Torah, because that's essentially what the neshama is really crying out to. So at Har Sinai, when we knew that's what we wanted, we were one with our nature, and our nature said to us, Na'aseh v'nishma. We're going to do what you say, Hashem. So I was thinking about these two words and how Rav Kook learned this out. And Rav Kook had the mahalach he brought us on was that, remember, just like a bee knows exactly what to do without teaching it, in our hearts, when we're one with our teva, and all the Torah is trying to do is to connect us back to the real us, every mitzvah, every halacha, every story, every parsha is just trying to bring us back to the real us. you have a nishma. In Hebrew, when you translate these two words, it's not the way we usually translate them. Naaseh will obey. What's nishma? We will hear, but what is the way that we usually, how do we usually translate it? We'll learn, right? We'll learn. We'll do, and then we'll learn. So this is what, I haven't found the source for this Torah yet, but I'm sure it's there. I was thinking about it all week last week. Naaseh, when I'm one with my nature, and I trust that God wants the best for me. And He gave me the Torah, and He gave me mitzvahs only because of one word, love. Because His love for me knows no boundaries. When I go there, and I'm one with my nature, and I'm Naaseh, Nishma. Nishma means listen to your neshama. Listen to yourself. Listen to what's going on inside of you when you're one with the Torah. You'll figure out exactly where to go, where not to go. The gilui of the nefesh, the revelation of the soul, it's so revealed that at that moment, all you have to do after keeping the Torah, checklist Yiddishkeit is, I did it. What's the next thing I can do? A V, do a check, and say, I did it. What's the next thing? What the Baal Shem Tov brought into the world, and it's really not a chiddush. Reb Shem Bar Yochai, the Arizal, the Ramchal, all the tzaddikim really brought this down generation after generation. What they brought down, and what Baal Shem Tov emphasized was Tishma, listen to your own voice. Listen to your soul. Listen to the Chelek Eloka Mimal, the godly spirit that exists inside of you to become your greatest Rebbe. And go and find the teachers that will direct you not to be closer to them, but to be closer to yourself. So that you feel at home with the Torah. And that you feel most at home without the distractions of this world. It's amazing to see a place like this shul, this program, this whole chevra that's here. I'm not sure how many of you are here usually, but I follow a little bit, online, and I'm hearing so many wonderful things about what's going on over here. And it's really just this map to show you that what all the Torahs that the tzaddikim have been bringing down is for you to get to know yourself, which is how we've been spending most of our mornings by us in Efrat. For the last 16 months, we've been learning the following sefer. This sefer has changed our lives, and it's formed our chabura that we live by. And our chabura is named after this sefer. This sefer is called Bnei Machshava Tova, written by the greatest, Reb Klonimus Kalman Shapira, the Rebbe of the Warsaw Ghetto, the Pia Setzner Rebbe, also known as the Eish Kodesh, that many of you have heard of, the Rebbe who was killed in November of 1943. He's known mainly for his book Eish Kodesh, which is a group of manuscripts that he would basically jot down his Torah thoughts that he gave during the day in the ghetto on Shabbos, by Shalosh Shuddis. Then after Shabbos, sitting in the ghetto, he would write down the Torah that he said over Shabbos. And it's a whole miraculous story how this Ktavim, how it ended up by us, which you can go online and see. But one of his earlier books before the war is Bnei Machshava Tova. In English, the translation of this book has been Conscious Community. It's basically getting together a group of people that want to really live life just one step above the way the rest of the world is living it. That getting to know yourself is something that you really can't afford not to do in this world. You have to ask yourself, what are the things that I can't do in this world? I can't imagine not doing. I can't imagine not having an iPhone. I'll share with you right now. I can't imagine not having one right now. I don't know how I would take care of my banking, my FaceTime with my children while I'm traveling, ways, anything in the world that you could imagine. But that makes me so sad. That's when I think, I can't imagine not doing it. What else can't we imagine not doing? Can you imagine going through your whole life and never getting a taste of you? Of the godly light that mamish exists inside of you? Of accessing that place inside of you? And working with it and developing it and growing it and making it bigger, stronger and stronger. Which Be'ez Hashem will have a chance tonight to take even more with the Nigunim. But what the Piasetzner Rebbe gave us so far, we've come up with 6 different examples as to how to reveal our souls to ourselves. And the main one that we've ended off with, there's no time, we're going to finish now, there's no time to go through all of them, but the main nekuda that the Piasetzner Rebbe has led us up until now, and I'm already inviting you all to the siyum that we're going to be doing in a few months on this sefer, because it's really changed our lives. And by the way, at the risk of sounding very commercial, although I don't make anything on it, but all the classes are online on my SoundCloud page. All the shias from the beginning were up to 60 classes, just on this very small, thin sefer. So, but one of the things that we reached at the end is the following thing, is that a key element in finding out who you really are is tapping into the ruach of gvura. Gvura doesn't just mean strong. It means the chokhmah of being a warrior. Being a warrior on the battlefield is very important. But the Piasetzner Rebbe says that being a warrior way before you get to the battlefield will enable you to also be a warrior on the main stage, the battlefield of life. But it starts with things that's so mundane, so simple, you could have never imagined. If you want to get to know yourself, ask yourself, what has control over you? Anything that has control over you prevents you from being a Nasav and Ishmael. So he gave an incredible example. He said, try tomorrow morning, when you drink coffee, don't put sugar in your coffee. Just try it. See if that works. So of course, this has to do, then he said, and then when you have, he didn't say this, we said this, when you have a hamburger, a juicy hamburger, can you take off one of the pieces of the roll? Whatever it is in your life, it could be, instead of 30 shows on Netflix, 29, whatever governs you, wherever you see that something is governing you. But you tap into the koach and say, wait a second, only a Kadosh Baruch Hu governs over me. So at the great picture, what we want to do is to have nothing controlling us. Nothing, no lust, no taiva, no desire that we don't need, nothing. But inside, until I get to the place that I can say to Hashem, only you, I just want you to govern over me, we start with the small things. Mamish, the small things. So I give us all a bracha to believe really strongly that getting to know ourselves is the greatest thing we could ever do for ourselves. And the truth is that we get to know ourselves also when certain nigunim tap into our neshamas, like Be'ez Hashem will have the chance to right now. Don't think too much. Don't think, what is this doing to me? What does this mean I have to do now? I'm shuckling, so I probably look very frum, but tomorrow my lifestyle isn't so frum, so how am I going to, stop shuckling? No. Stop thinking. Just be with wherever you are at that given moment with the nigun. And at that moment also ask Hashem, please give me more of this. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to stay. And Be'ezrat Hashem, like that, we can have a reenactment of Kabbalah Satorah, like we're going to have on Purim, like the Gemara says, Adar Kibla B'me'ach HaShverosh. Then at the time of Purim, there was a reenactment of Kabbalah Satorah. It's not because we thought too much. We went above that. We went to the Binat HaLev. And the wisdom of the heart tells you, there's never, ever a moment to not ask Hashem for something. So tonight, I know it's not just a normal concert now, but that's okay. I wanted to see if we could really prepare the vessel for experience. At those moments where there's what the Piasetzner says happens to a yid while he's singing a nigun, There's a gilui of the nefesh. There's a little bit of a revelation of the soul. At that moment, if it's too hard to just zen yourself out and be in the moment, ask Hashem for some Rahmanas on your soul. And we should have a lot of Rahmanas on each other. But specifically, like the Alter Rebbe says in Igeres HaTshuva, Tshuva begins with being determined to have compassion on our own neshamas. All right, Shekayach everyone. We'll see you inside there.